welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina. I have got some amazing guests, but I'm not going to share who I've got coming up with you quite yet because we are now into 2023, 2 weeks into the new year, and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions. And if you didn't do this in December, you should have tried to get ready for your New Year's resolution like a couple of weeks anyways beforehand, because I think that it is something that you have to prepare for. But if you have fallen off of whatever your New Year's resolution may have been, some people it has to do with they want to lose weight. I know for myself, the holidays is a time of year where it is really tough for me, folks. It's just, I love food and I will overeat and I will be uncomfortable. I do it every single time. So after the first of the year, which is the time when we're all still, it's cold outside and you don't want to really try to not eat. You try to, what do they say, get fluffier for the winter? I have a term for myself when I feel like I'm a little fluffier than normal. But anyways, if you've fallen off your New Year's resolution, I just want to just give you a kind reminder that it's never too late to get back on track with things. And if you didn't prepare for it, like I had just mentioned, and started doing it and taking those necessary steps to have a successful change, life-changing thing like eating differently. I don't like to use the word diet, but eating better and things like that. You can do it now. Just sit down and find somebody that will hold you accountable for whatever it is that you want to change in your life. Some people have decided that they want to try to stop drinking, Well, New Year's Eve sometimes ruins that for them, especially if it's after midnight and they do some more cheers into the New Year's. And other things it is like exercise. Just find a person that you know that will maybe go along with you. I always say it's better to do it together with somebody else than try to stay in and doing something all alone. With that being said, good luck on whatever it is that you want to have for the new year. Maybe do a new trip, visit somewhere new. Anyways, I have a great show, folks. I have a wonderful student I'm going to highlight from Talmadge Elementary, a couple of teachers from that school as well as my teachers of the month. And we're going to get to a gal who, she's got a calendar for 2023 that is available to sell for her to make some profit to go to her nonprofit. So those proceeds will go for a good cause. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back. It is Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our two locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
You walked down the aisle and promised happily ever after. Sometimes happily ever after means ending a relationship. We know the conversations are not easy. Deciding what's best for you, your children, and your next steps takes work and communication. At Dagger Law, we know there are no monsters in a divorce, only people trying to find their way. Local, trusted, experienced. Dagger Law.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I'm super excited. I have two teachers of the month this show, as well as a student of the month. And the reason why I do that is because it's part of what Down Home with Tina is anyways. I just love when there is especially a youngster in our community that does something super kind and makes a positive difference in the world. They've got to be recognized and highlighted, and I'm so excited to have the teachers that were both involved. And there is a nonprofit organization behind all of it as to what I believe encouraged him to do this, but I'm going to let him share his story. I'm going to welcome Ryland Huffer, 5th grader at Talmadge Elementary. Yep. And your teacher, would you like to introduce your teacher?
This is Miss Heetland. She is a teacher at Talmadge Elementary. She she switches in a lot of different classrooms and helps a lot of kids with their work if they don't know what to do.
Oh, very, very nice. And so I welcome you as well. So thank you for being with me. I want to start off first with asking you, why did you decide to become a teacher?
I have always wanted to be a teacher. I used to teach my Cabbage Patch dolls how to read. So now I just do that for a living. I started out actually as a music teacher. I played trumpet and I taught elementary music. And then I took years off with kids and decided to switch it up. So I went back to school to work on an intervention certificate.
Oh, I love that. I know myself, I remember, I never did become a teacher, but I remembered when we were kids, we would all get together, our families, and then the kids would play school. It was like we didn't get enough school at school. I think we just wanted to be the boss. Some of us wanted to take this and be in charge and say, you do this and you do that. But you get to do that as a teacher.
Right.
How many years have you been teaching them?
This is my 8th year. So I taught music for 4 and then intervention for 4.
For 4. So what do you think about it? So far? Are you loving it?
I love it. I do. Yeah. I teach small groups reading and math, and then I'm also a co-teacher in the classrooms.
You are,
so
okay.
Fun.
So I'm excited to share with everybody the story of what you have actually done to help somebody. So I'm going to just go ahead and let you share the story. What did you do, Ryland, for one of your classmates?
So one day I was in line to get lunch. Then I went down, then I heard one of my classmates talking to my custodian.
Okay.
Then I asked her what's going on with her family, and then she said her family's going to be homeless soon. And I said, my dad can help you out with that, with a chair of Newsies. Then he did that.
Yeah.
So I asked her for mom and dad's number, but she gave me the wrong number.
Oh no.
So I came back to school the next day, asked her for your mom's number or dad's, Then she gave me it. Then my dad called his chief investigator of Newsies. So then they found out they really needed help. So we wrote vouchers out for her for food, clothes, and we got her a hotel for a couple of weeks during Thanksgiving.
So this all took place right before Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Wow. Where did you come into all of this, Mrs. Heetland?
These are both students that I work with, and I heard the whole story, but felt like I couldn't really help. And then one of my students stepped up and saved the day.
Right. And it's true. I mean, because you can hear things, but you as a teacher, you can't only do so much. You can't just jump in and get involved and say, hey, I'm gonna do this. I can make this happen. You can't, because by law, it's just not what you're allowed to do. So Ryland, did you go to your teacher and say something to your teacher about it, or did the other student? What did you do next when it came to that?
I never told them. I kind of want to keep my mouth shut because she didn't get embarrassed and kids won't bully her.
Yeah, you're right, yeah. So
this was all him.
It was.
Saving the day, yes.
So what do you think when you have a student like Ryland that steps up to the plate and they want to make a positive difference?
It's amazing.
In the life of a child.
Amazing, and I know he will be successful because he has those skills to not just the academics, and he's a hard worker, but he can help people, and he knows how to seek out help when he needs it.
And naturally, it's like it comes natural to him to say, hey, wrong number, and he knew in his heart where it was to go if somebody makes a comment like that. Because, Ryland, would you agree, somebody's not going to just say, oh, I'm going to be homeless tomorrow, unless they're really going to be homeless.
Yeah.
Right?
I can agree with that.
Yeah. because that's serious. Did you have like a serious conversation with them, or you're just like, hey, I know somebody who can help you out if you're going to be homeless? And how did your classmate take this? Were they like, really, your dad can't help? What was their reaction to all of it in the beginning?
She said, really, that would be great. That would help her family out a lot. So she was super happy about it.
And it all kind of came to fruition and everything. So what is the thing that you look forward to, you as a teacher, with other kids and things? I mean, you just kind of just sit back and watch and just cheer them on. Like,
well, as an intervention specialist,
Yeah.
I often have the same kids for 2, 3, or 4 years. So it's amazing to see that growth from, kids that aren't reading and not doing well with math to somebody ready to go off to junior high and conquer the world.
Right. Oh, well, I want to thank you so much for everything that you do. And I know we've got another teacher, because you're my teacher of the month. Teacher of the month, by the way, folks, is brought to you by Carl Communications. So, and I will have yours, because you're not going anywhere. You're going to sit there and we're going to chat a little bit more. He knows that. He's expecting. Actually, it was his idea, folks. He wanted to hang out with me on the setup here, and I'm thrilled and honored to have you, of course, Ryland. So we have an Ava Jewelers gift card in here for you, and some goodies and treats and lots of sugar you can share with your student. Oh, well, yes, students or not. It's up to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything that
Thank
you do.
you for having me.
It is just awesome, folks, when we have teachers in the community like Mrs. Heetland, and students in the community like Ryland, and we're going to find out more by somebody else who is at the school and just see what she has to say about this amazing student that we have at Talmadge Elementary. We'll be right back. It's Down Home with Tina.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Alex Lape. In my 30-year law enforcement career, I have seen many different trends in illicit drug trade and substance use disorders. Fentanyl is the deadliest drug that I have ever encountered. Very minuscule amounts can be fatal. Fentanyl is present in most mainstream illicit drugs. Drug cartels are now pressing fentanyl into forms that appear to be common candies. Ingesting any of these fake candies or pills can have fatal overdose effects. This ongoing drug epidemic requires a balanced approach. We must focus our attentions and resources on treatment and education in conjunction with enforcement efforts that hold those who traffic in dangerous drugs accountable. For your sake and the sake of your family, do not take any medications that are not issued through prescriptions by your pharmacy. Thank you.
This message is brought to you by the Fairfield County Adam H. Board.
What makes Fairhope what it is our staff. It's always a question that we ask, why do you want to be here with us? And what they most always say is, you've touched my life this way. You took care of this person, or I've seen what you've done and I want to do that. And so the staff that have been here know what it takes. They've been on the other side. They see what it takes to make someone comfortable, to make the family comfortable, and really what kind of support they need. And so I think that's what really makes Fairhope what it is.
It's Down Home with Tina, and I have Mrs. Day with me. She is from Talmadge Elementary. She is the Family Student Support Coordinator, also known as a social worker. And also I have Ryland Huffer. He is a 5th grader at Talmadge Elementary. He did something pretty amazing, folks, and that's why we want to just highlight him, and we want to highlight her also as a teacher, as somebody that she gets to do what she does. And I'm not a teacher, and I just know that even from when I was younger, things have changed so much throughout the years. And I love it when we have a student in the community that listens and takes action to help another student. And he didn't have to do so. But the reason that he did so is because he has a father who is involved with Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsies. And I don't join many organizations, and it's not because I don't believe in. I have a lot of them here on the show, nonprofits I'd love to highlight. But when I know that there's something positive going on in the community and I can be a part of it and I get an opportunity to be, I became a Charity Newsies myself. And so I know that they're out there to help families, and set in his heart, and he knows because of his father being involved with it, that Ryland knew where to go when it came to help out another student, a classmate. And it was just because he heard them say that they were going to become homeless, right? You're going to become homeless, and you don't want to see. What did you think, Ryland, when you heard somebody, like your first thought? Did you think about yourself, what it would be like to be homeless?
I think about myself, then I felt like no one in the world should be able to be homeless.
Yep, and this was an entire family around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was about 6 people in the house, pretty sure.
6 people in the house. So when did you begin to get involved in this whole process, Mrs. Day?
So I've been involved with the family for quite a while.
Okay.
They've kind of been struggling with some things outside of school, and so just kind of making education a priority for the student and kind of keeping her engaged and involved in school. And then I've been working kind of behind the scenes with the family on some things.
Yeah, and do you yourself get involved with Charity Newsies to discuss things? Because I know that it has to stay private, but this is something different because it came out in a different way.
Yeah, so I actually don't get to be directly involved with Charity Newsies, but we have a teacher that is involved with Charity Newsies. And so there's some times where I can share just enough information with her that she can kind of... We have 2 teachers.
We got the gym teacher, Coach A.
Yep.
And
Coach A. I forgot about Coach A. So I usually have talked to Miss Kress, and she is able to kind of take some things back and work on the side of Charity Newsies and get some information to them.
And of course, everything is kept confidential. And I know that through Charity Newsies, if people need help, it's sometimes 211. But that's where Ryland came in. And did he talk to you about it, or you just knew because you had that direct relationship with the child?
So I was actually talking with a student, and she was like, well, Ryland's family, they got us in a hotel. And I'm like, what do you mean they got you in a hotel? Like, I was so confused at first, so I wasn't really sure what she was talking about.
Yeah.
So that's how I first heard about it.
She's like, we're not going to be
Yeah, she was really, really excited. She's like, we're going to stay in a hotel. She was just...
Oh, I'm sure, because apparently, from my understanding, folks, it also was that when they were told to leave their home or where they were, it was just the stuff that they had that they could take with them. Yeah. So you were talking earlier about the parents didn't even have clothes, so they were all working together. It was Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsies and the school. I know that you were all able to make it better for the family.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Ryland? Like, what do you think about yourself doing something such as this? You ready to do it again to help somebody else if you can?
If I can, I would help someone else if they really needed help.
Do you think other kids in school now know who the guy is to go to if their family needs help?
I'm pretty sure yes they do.
If they didn't then, they do now. Right?
Yeah.
Get you on TV and then they'll know what to do.
Well, I guess if they will need help, they always have Miss Day or Mrs. Heetland, or talk to one of the teachers to help them out, because this is going to be my last year at Tom and Sarah Missionary Lancaster City Schools.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Because you go from 5th grade, now you go on
to 6th grade.
Do you think you'll ever become a Lancaster Fairfield County Charity Newsie?
Probably.
I bet you do as well. I'm very excited for you, Ryland, with what you have. What do you think about Ryland and what he's done, Mrs. Day?
Oh, I think it's amazing. We are always trying to push kindness in our school, and we have a kindness week coming up at the end of January.
Oh,
so
nice.
It fits right in.
Very, very good.
And they have this called, 3 digits. They have it: be responsible, be respectful, and be safe on their things. 2 R's on the first and 1 S on the bottom.
Yep. Well, very, very, very good. Would you like to say anything else to anybody in the community?
Well, if you guys have anything you guys need help with, try to reach out to the Charity Newsies and we'll try to get you guys some help.
You're pretty daggone awesome. I know I still do the high five. I don't do the bump much. I guess I'm old like that and I don't think of it. As my student of the month, I just want to thank you. Ryland, I want to make sure this one's not yours. You would not want what I give Miss Day. You'd be like, what is this for? There's that for you. And a gift certificate in there from Ava Jewelers. Now, I doubt you'll go to Ava Jewelers for jewelry, but I'm wondering if maybe your dad could for your mom or for somebody maybe special. Oh no, you might have a little girlfriend, you might have to go do something and get something for her. I don't know, it's not my business and you don't have to share. Ryland, thank you very much for being a guest on the show. I really appreciate it, buddy. And you keep up the great work. It's pretty awesome. And thank you so much for everything that you do today. Folks, don't go anywhere. It's Down Here with Tina. I'll be back in just a minute.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
It's Down Here with Tina, and Down Here with Tina is brought to you by these amazing sponsors. And I'm so excited to have with me Amy Carpenter. She is the founder of the Hank Kabel Sarcoma Foundation, and she is here to talk about, she does a lot of different things throughout the years to raise funds for this nonprofit. But Amy, you are, first off, why did you decide to do this? And then we'll talk a little bit about that, because I know that we could go on and on and on and on. Amy's a friend of mine, and I know that we can just talk, can't we?
Yes, forever.
But forever, right? For hours. Get us some coffee or tea or whatever it may be, and we would just have a blast. So, Amy, you have a calendar that you have done for how many years now?
So I actually had to start writing it down because we've done it for so many years, Tita. So the very first year was 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the year that I did a calendar just of pictures of Hank. He was on the news 33 times.
And why? Let's tell people why now.
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense to lead into that.
He used to let me dress him up in all kinds of crazy costumes. Valentine's Day with like a hat with hearts and red feather boas. Like Christmas, he was a reindeer and you know, Santa Claus. And a leprechaun, St. Patrick's Day. Aww. And so I would always send his pictures to Channel 4, and Bob Nunley would put him on the news. And so the very first year I did his calendar, I thought, well, why don't just make the calendar of him?
Absolutely.
And so we had tons of pictures. And so I just did the first calendar of him. And then the next year we did it with the sheriff's office. Mm-hmm. And then in 2018 we did the fire department. Okay. And then 2019 was the police department. And then in 2020 we did Fairfield Medical Center. And in 2021, we did Lancaster City Schools. And that year, I featured about how children get sarcoma.
Okay.
And I thought that was really telling because, you know, dogs get sarcoma the most, and the second most common is children.
Mm-hmm. What is sarcoma, Amy?
And
just
so
to
sarcoma,
folks, yeah,
sarcoma is a rare cancer of the connective tissue. And again, dogs get it the most, and children are the second most common to get it.
Mm-hmm. And it's not always easily like found in them. You don't know right away.
Right, and that's what we've talked about in the past. You know, it can come up in areas like for Hank, it was in his pelvic area, so right in here. And so, like, we didn't see an outward growth, so it was growing inside his pelvic canal. So it just kept growing and growing and growing. And so the time that they diagnosed it, it was the size of a grapefruit, and it wasn't growing outward. The only time that the reason that we knew that something was wrong is it was pushing on his urethra and colon. So that's the only reason that we knew.
And was that what was causing him to have problems? Because those were the symptoms that you realized, oh, he's not eating and doing things right.
Yeah. And so, like I told you in the past, he lived with my mom and dad. He was my sister's dog, and I stopped to walk with him in November of 2012. And I saw him lift his leg to go to the bathroom, and nothing came out. And I thought that was weird, but I just had him in for his wellness exam that summer. And they had given him a clean bill of health, so I thought, well, he has to be okay. The vets told me he was fine. So that was in November, and February 1st, my mom called and said, Hank won't eat his treats. And that alarmed her.
Right.
And her and my dad were like, you know, he's a dog. He lives outside. He's a protector. So, you know, they didn't usually take him to the vet. And when I heard in her voice alarm, then I got scared because he loved his treats and he would do anything for a treat. That's how I dressed him up in all those crazy costumes that came up with his first calendar. And so to hear that he wouldn't eat his treats, then I got scared.
Right.
And that's when we took him into the vet thinking he had something like a UTI. And then here it was a grapefruit side sarcoma.
Right, right. Now, is this most common in certain breeds of dogs?
Yeah, so there's some dogs that are more prone to cancer than others. And so through the research, I found that the most common breed is the Bernese Mountain Dog. 55% of Bernese Mountain Dogs get cancer.
Wow.
And the second most common is the Golden Retriever, which is the most common family pet. And so those are the ones that get it the most. But then there's other breeds, like Hank was a Rottweiler, and they're more prone to getting it.
And where is it more likely that they will get this?
And it just
common?
depends.
Just depends.
Yeah, it just depends. Anywhere in the body it can happen. Like I said, for Hank, it was in his pelvic area.
So it could be anywhere.
But if it's, some dogs get it called osteosarcoma, which is in their bones. And again, that can be anywhere. Obviously, it's going to be in one of their limbs. And so that can show up. A dog could just be walking along and start limping one day. And that actually happened years ago with Hank. He tore his ACL. And we thought, you know, we didn't know what had happened to him. And we took him to the vet. And I remember the vet saying, ooh, this could be something more serious. I'm not sure if he tore his ACL or something. And back then, I think he was thinking cancer. But when they went in and did x-rays and everything, they found out it was just his ACL. But see, something like that, someone wouldn't know, you know, did they hurt their ACL or would that be cancer? And that could be osteosarcoma.
Right. Right. And so I had interrupted you in your announcement of this. So that's the important part, though, is what I want folks to just realize and know about what the sarcoma is. And what was the next year? You said
so
21?
the 2021 was the school system, and then 2022 was the sheriff's office. That was last year. And then this year is Around Town with Dogs, or excuse me, for next year, 2023, and that is Around Town with Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And it is available to purchase now?
Yes. Yeah. And so you can go to our website, and that's www.hankkabelsarcomafoundation.com. Okay. You can also get it at Hair of the Dog and Downtown Fruit Passion. They're also selling it for us.
And what do we expect to see in the calendar? Are they all of Hank again in different parts of the city or town, or?
Yeah, so
or
what you'll see
dogs?
is different businesses around Lancaster who feature you to bring your dog in.
Okay,
so
all right.
when I became Hank's mom, he had separation anxiety. And so I would go to leave and he would jump in the car with me. And I'm like, okay, where are we supposed to go?
He's a big dog, too.
Right.
He's not a little dog. He's not a lap dog.
106-pound Bull Mastiff Rottweiler.
There you go.
Okay, we're going to go somewhere. Where are we going to go, you know? And so I found through being his mom that there are lots of places in town that let you come. And so like his favorite pet store was Pet Supplies Plus. So we would go there, we would get a bath, you know, he would steal treats from the treat aisle. And he would flirt with all the girls at the checkout.
Of course.
And so they would just let him have the free treats. And
that's funny.
And then he would go and harass all the birds, and, you know.
Amy, where do the proceeds go for anything, an event or the sale of the calendar?
Yeah, and so it goes to our foundation, and then what our mission is to raise money and awareness, and again, for its canine cancer and sarcoma. And so there was two things that it was my big concern, is not only to try to cure cancer, but also to raise awareness.
Absolutely. And your website and Facebook, great way to follow you and learn everything about what's going on.
Definitely. Those are the best two ways.
And what are they?
Yeah, so www.hankkabelsarcomafoundation.com.
Amy, thank you so much, and
You're
good luck
welcome.
with everything,
Thank you,
my
Tina.
friend.
Thank
Folks,
you so much.
Thank you so much. I hope that you have a great week. God bless. Until we meet again next time. It's Downtown with Tina.